So, okay, so let's first of all figure out the syllabus, not syllabus, but yeah, what are we gonna read? So I'm sharing my screen. So can you see my screen? Hello.
Yeah, I can see the screen.
Okay, so I think let's first of all figure out the whole things that we need to understand for HD1s, right? So
Mm-hmm.
for HD1 role, which is software developer role, so there are two things which are of importance. One is the not two things, three things: knowledge of DS and algo. Second is the solving skills, which of course comes from the first one only. And third is the basic knowledge of fundamentals, right? I think these are all clear to you also, right?
Mm-hmm.
So these are the basic requirement for an SD1 role in any big company. I mean, if you talk about the big company also, they don't even care much about the last section. They focus too much upon these two sections, and there are some questions which correspond to this one, but not very much. But we will also cover some of the important thing in this area, and the most important thing in this, the third one is, there are two topics which people often touches. One is the DBMS, database management system, and second one is the operating system. So they may ask you the question like question from transaction, or is it property, or if you talk about OS, they can ask you question like concurrency, all those things like that. They can ask you some question, right?
Okay.
Not very deep into that, but some over level question which are also fundamental while solving the problems. But yeah, so in DS algo, I think you might be knowing, I'm just reiterating what we can read. So first is that we think about arrays, the basic DS that everyone reads, right? Second, we may touch something about linked list, and when I talk about array, we will also read about strings, since a string is also some sort of array only, but we will focus some of our time on strings also, right? Is it good? I mean, are you getting my point? I mean, is it good till now?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
Then we will touch about some other one like a stack. Then you, and then we will spend some time on map, reach, graph. So these are the major things that we will read. And in the algo side, I mean, in the when we will read about array, we will read about searching.
Mm-hmm.
Then we will read about sorting. Then we will read about since in a stack queue map, all of them don't have a lot of any major algorithms. Then we will increase we will some other things. In graph, there are multiple algorithms which we will focus upon. Like I mean, DFS and BFS are definitely there for traversal. For tree also we read about in order, pre-order, right, post order. But in graph there are a bunch of algorithms which people are definitely aware of. These things are like mm, Dijkstra, then Bellman fold. In queue also we will read something about priority queue. Then we will read about heaps. In graph we will read about all these things like Dijkstra, Bellman fold, and then we will read about, before that we can also read about prims. Then we can read about Kruskal. You might have read about these algorithms, but we will read about this again, right? And then a
No.
bunch of other algorithms also. I mean, you might have heard whatever name I'm just using. You might have heard about algorithm, right? Then also we will
Yeah.
read about other graph algo. Then we will focus to something called backtracking. Then we can move to two important things, which are I think problematic for many people. One is called greedy, and second is DP. So this is what is there in my mind. So and then once we will finish, we will move to some of the like basic of DBMS. Then we will talk about acid property. Then we will talk about transaction. Then we will talk about some basics of OS. So this is something that I was thinking about. Do you have anything else to add?